Hello guys, welcome once again to our channel. So today we're gonna be talking about at this moment we're talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac. And today we're talking about the season 8 and episode 6. Overall, what do you think about the episode Living for My Girl?
Oh wow, it was just all over the place. I'm trying to follow along, but it's like they're having so many issues. I'm so sick about hearing about the wand thing. It is what it is at this point for me. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to get any better. He is who he is. Robin's going to be who she is. I'm tired of hearing about it. You know, so it just seemed like the same old to me.
Wow. So you think overall, if you were to give the episode from a 1 to 10, how would you rate the episode?
Mm, it rated about a 4.
You rated what?
Pardon me?
I didn't hear your ratings.
Oh, I said it rates about a 4 to me.
Wow. 4.
Yeah, I
That's
just kind of expected a little bit more than the same old stuff.
that's pretty low.
Yeah, I'm just
Well,
tired of hearing about the same things over and over again. That's just like having
yeah.
a serious conversation with somebody, and every time you see them, they bring up the same old crap. Like
For me,
let's
it was
move on.
like you said, I felt like the episode was all over the place. Very confusing. Very,
Yes,
very confusing. Very confusing. I was tired.
yeah. So was I. I
I
mean,
was
good try for Ashley trying to get them out their comfort zone, but all they wanted to do was have the same discussions.
yeah. And talking about what happened in the episode, let's go ahead and talk about things that happened in the episode. We have the continuation of this chat Ashley, did I say Ashley? Between Neka and Wendy. I'm glad that finally we could die down this topic for the way it looks as if it's gonna be died down for now. I don't know whether it's really gonna be died down, but it looks as if it's gonna be died down, and I'm glad for that. With that being said, there were some things that they said in the episode that I wanted to just talk about when it came to this stuff, or I wanted us to talk about. They talked about the fact that Wendy was still denying knowing Lebe and the rest, and trying to ignore the situation that she didn't know Lebe or she was close to Lebe at one certain time in her life. And
Right.
this lady was bringing out the truth, like, okay, if you didn't know Lebe, why did you bring her to your child christening? Why did you tie a gele on her hair? I was like, this lady got to be kidding me. I don't know. First, let me clear my confusion. Was it Neka that said, "Why did you tie the gele?" or somebody else? I'm confused there.
I think it was Nickel.
Since Neka talked about the gele, I
Yeah.
actually thought it was Ashley.
I think Ashley talked about it in her confessional, but I think it was NECA who brought it up.
Neka that talked about it there.
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember.
Okay. Now let's talk about this Gilly stuff. Like, why would she bring on? Like, that's why I be disliking Neka. Not like dislike. That's how I be side eyeing her. Like, babes, you're Nigerian. You grew in Nigeria for a very long time. Gilly doesn't signify anything. There's no special meaning to a Gilly.
Mm.
There's no special attribute. Like, I'm tying a Gilly on somebody doesn't mean you're special in my life. No. And this is where I find it very offensive that you see people like Ashley that don't know anything about it, like being like, oh, but you tie the gele on her hair. They were tying the gele on someone's hair means that um this is this person is very important to you. Like, no. Hi, Miss Mermaid. Thank you for joining us today. Like, I was like, how? How do you say that? What? You don't know the culture. Gele doesn't make you anything. And because of that's why I'm still faulting Neka, because of Neka has made talked about our culture to people that really don't understand, they
Mhm.
don't know what it's all about. They are now they have the right to judge and talk about things they don't know. Imagine actually saying that tiny killing somebody makes means something special. No, absolutely nothing, nothingness. Now, thank God they did put up the meaning of gele on the show, and gele is a traditional head tie worn during special occasion, primarily by women in Western Africa, and that is what it is. Once you want to know you are in an African party, you go in there and every single person is on this gele.
Mhm.
I think I got introduced to gele at the age of 10 years old. I got introduced to gele.
Mm.
You would know an African party with every single woman putting on gele. That is what is that's our traditional wear. When we wear our native attire, the gele is the next thing. If you're not on a gele, you are not, we feel like you're not really that dressed. You don't know what you're coming there for. That's the party. We want to see the style you're tying your gele at.
Okay.
Some people tie the gele so big to show you that yes, I'm the biggest woman here. So fine. Gele is like a fashion trend. It's like like without a gele on your dress, you have not even started your dressing. That is what gele represents. Nothing. It
Okay.
doesn't represent any special meaning. Like, oh, I tie a gele for you means that you're special in my life. No,
Mm.
nothing
Okay.
special to it. And for Neka to bring it up and be like, "Oh, why were you not tying a gele on her hair?" And I'm like, babes, babes, the gele doesn't mean anything.
Oh,
Nothing.
okay.
And I'm disappointed in her that you talk about being a Nigerian and you grew in Nigeria longer than Neka grew in Nigeria. Sorry, than Wendy grew in Nigeria. And you use this kind of things, and I'm like laughing. I'm laughing like, stop doing it. Then we have people judging and talking about it that they don't know about. Ashley would always want to put her 5 cents where it's not necessary. She's always just talking about those things, talking about how Gele is important. And I was glad that when they like came out and said, at the end of the day, I also tied a Gele on Giselle. Are we close?
Right.
Simple and short.
Hmm.
I'm happy. Like I'm hoping that this Nigerian talk, this traditional talk, this witchcraft ritual thought, the shrine thought would literally end in this episode. Well,
Mm.
before we go ahead and talk about what do you guys feel about them talking about the Lebe stuff and the Gilly stuff and everything? I just wanted to just talk about the Gilly stuff and say and let everybody know that there is no special attributes, no special meaning, no anything to this Gilly. It's just a fashion trend, a must do fashion when it comes to partying in a West African party. That's just it.
Well, I'm glad you broke it down to us so we can understand. You know, now as far as Mecca bringing her receipts, she did bring some receipts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as Wendy and her kind of like knowing each other through passing, which Wendy kind of denies. Wendy is kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm denying you, I'm denying your cousin. She's just deny, deny, deny. But I like the way that Mecca stuck to her guns and bought those receipts. Now, as far as the Gilly goes, um, that wasn't really a receipt to bring, especially when Wendy said, "Well, hey, I put one on Giselle's head." It's like an attire, you know, an accessory for the occasion. So I'm glad you broke it down. That was one receipt that she really didn't have to bring. And as far as the witchcraft stuff, I was trying to listen to Wendy when she was explaining that there's different shrines uh, in her Catholic religion that they go to and pray for different things, different shrines for different things. You know, I mean, she's telling me something I didn't know about the Catholic religion. You know, but
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for explaining that because the way Ashley described it, it made it seem like it was like a special honor to put that on someone's head. Like, oh, wow, if someone places this on your head, then you're, like an honorary guest of some sort. So thank you for explaining that. It's just Ashley again, starting some mess. I just can't stand her on this show. I don't know what she's like in person, but I don't like her character on this show.
Exactly. Because when I saw it, I was like, no, this thing needs to be cleared up. This is like I'm not gonna blame Ashley because I don't like to blame people that don't know anything about it. Ashley just runs with the storyline, trying to create a storyline for herself. The person I'm gonna blame is the person that knows and understands what she's talking about, but still decided that I'm gonna talk about it.
right,
That's the person I'm going to blame because you knew what you were stepping into. You knew what you were talking about. You knew that these people you were talking about it's with, they were never going to understand it, like really understand it, or you decided to still talk about it. Oh, yeah, that's on Neka. That's not actually yes, wrong with it, but Neka created the way for her to run with it. That's just it. But moving forward, like I said, the episode is just too it was zigzag. I was confused.
right.
Um, Going to this dinner they had. I think this was like the nicest thing that happened in this episode. There was no fight that much. Everybody was trying to like be friendly, and I think the alcohol did a great job for them because everybody was smiling. But I wanted to bring something to the table. I don't know. Am I the only one? But I felt like Neka was acting more as a fan than more than a housewife. I don't know. I
What?
feel like the way she would. Did you get what I said?
Well, why do you say that?
Because the way she was just, the I don't know, the way she was like so smiley, like when you were fangirling over someone, I was like, that was how her looks were to me when they were all talking about whatever they were talking about on this table. She was giving me the fangirl kind of thing, and I was like, okay, that's just my own perspective.
Mm. I just kind of felt like maybe NECA was just, she sees where she's being accepted, which is with Giselle
Yes.
and them. Because Wendy really ain't accepting her. Candace is kind of like straddling on the fence at this point because she's, kind of looking like Wendy, like, okay, what's going on with you? You know what I'm saying? I just want to make
Mhm.
sure, she good. So I just feel like maybe NECA just feels like, okay, I'm getting support. Where Wendy, everybody's kind of like side eyeing Wendy, like, that's what I got from that little scene. But I was glad that they weren't arguing and screaming where you can't understand who's saying what, you know.
Mm.
But I was
But
really kind of like squirming when they were having the discussion. I just didn't want to hear about any of that.
yeah,
I didn't want to
So,
hear about any of that.
oh my god.
Because then you
Oh,
try, you put a visual with it without trying to put a visual with it. And it was like, okay, enough, you know?
I see
yeah.
what I'm sorry.
You can go ahead. Sure.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I see what you mean. I liked how she was kind of being quiet and not talking too much, because we've seen like other new people who just try to get in there so bad and say stuff, and it just doesn't mesh well. Like,
Workhouse.
right, like, do you guys remember Escala when she was on a
Yeah.
couple? Yeah, like there were times when she said stuff. You're like, where did that come from? Like, why did you feel the need to say that? Like,
Hmm.
but I think she was, the producers probably told her, you got to get in there, you got to get involved in the conversation. I liked how, Nick, pronounce her name for me, please.
Neka.
Okay, because there was a lady I heard who was from Sierra Leone, and she said it's Ineka.
Neka.
She
That's
said
that's
it's
if you're pronouncing
Ineka,
it in the traditional way, and people tend to mispronounce.
but it's
Neka.
Neka. Say it again.
Mm, Neka.
Neka. So the first
Yeah.
letter
Yes.
says n, and the next one ne.
Mm, ne.
Neka.
Yeah.
Neka. She, I like how she just, was just sitting there. And I understand what you're saying, maybe just fanning out, but she was not trying to force her way in the conversation. That's all I
Right.
was going to say.
Uh, but did you notice also that they were not really too much interested in anything she was bringing to the table, except if it's about Wendy, when she was talking about herself, like wanting to have kids. They didn't even allow her talk the stories. I don't know whether it's production that just cut it out or edited it out, but I felt like they were not allowing her land. I feel like they give her more grace and space to talk when she's talking against Wendy, or than when she's talking about herself.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because I didn't notice it in this episode. Whenever she wanted to talk about herself, there's just one thing. Somebody will just bring up one other topic, and everybody will forget about her talking about what she was talking about, and that's because it's a personal stuff. But I'm pretty sure if she brought up Wendy, wow, everybody will be quiet and listen to what she has to say, and that's not fair. And I feel that that's where the how would I put it, that was where she went wrong, using that, because now the ladies would not want to really listen and hear what she has to say. It's only if she's there bashing Wendy or talking trash about Wendy. And that's not going to make sense, because you keep talking trash about this person, and this person is not in your presence. It's not going to make sense. People are going to look at you sideways or side eyeing you. Like, are you sure you're okay? So I kind of felt bad for her at that instance when she was trying to like talk her piece, explain to them how she's looking for children, and at one point it just looked as if they were not really interested in the conversation. It wasn't fair.
Right. They didn't seem interested in that kid, the baby story. No.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Wait a
Um,
minute. Candace did talk to her about it. Candace did.
I think it was only Candice that was literally giving her attention. Literally, let's be truthful.
Yeah,
Candice
that's
had
true.
Candice had more chats and tried to be close to her than even the Giselle that she's trying to be close to. Even every time they always talk, is either they want to talk about Wendy, or the only time I saw Robyn talk to her was like, "Oh, I hope we're not scaring you away." When they were, because of the chats they had with her. It's the only time.
Hmm.
They are not really, I've not seen them like very keen on being like, okay, you know what, let's know about you, let's know about your job you do, let's know.
Hmm.
And for me it doesn't make sense. But let's go to this chart. Like, oh my god, today's episode was so much, just awful. Um this chat, and when they all came against Robyn, and I would say something, Robyn, I think she's a lost cause, and I think everybody should give up. on trying to understand the way she thinks, understand. I think I when I was watching the episode, I said Tisha has nothing on Robyn.
Wow.
That's why I said to myself, I said Tisha has nothing on Robyn because literally, I don't know what to call the scenario that we have with her. Like when she was talking about the text message, did you see what was going on? Because I was couldn't couldn't understand. When she was talking about the text message, why she didn't read his DMs and she was not like too much into it, I was like, she herself knew that that thing she was saying doesn't make sense. Trying to make stupid excuses, but the excuses were not landing. The excuses were not appropriate. I think she will cover for this man hell and back. She will cover for her husband. It's not a bad thing. Like Giselle said, I understand that Robyn wants to support her man, but if it was me, I don't think that would be it. Even her own friend Giselle knows that she cannot be in the same seat and the same position that Robyn is.
Right. I mean, I'm gonna try and look at it a different way right now. With Robyn and look, what's her name, Letitia?
Yeah.
These are their first marriages. You know what I'm saying? With your first marriage, you have so much hope and hope for the future. And I mean, you are loving on this man, and no matter how many times it looked like he's doing wrong, you kind of close your eyes to a lot of stuff, you know. So I'm just kind of thinking that they're just like closing their eyes to a lot of stuff that they see, because there's no way you're gonna look through your man's phone, your husband's phone, your boyfriend's phone, and you're gonna see some messages from the opposite sex, and you're not gonna see what the hell they talking about. Now, if you're talking about, hey, uh, I can come over and do that construction job, but you're gonna pay me this amount of money, and I'm gonna need a check when I come, and I'm buying the supplies, or you buy the supplies, or whatever the conversation is. If it's a business conversation, okay, you're gonna read it and you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, all right, that's about business. Now, if you're reading other stuff, what I'm saying is you're gonna read. It's coming from the opposite sex to your boo thing. I'm gonna read it. I don't care what nobody say. You can call me nosy or whatever. It's part of my property too. Okay, we don't share phones, but we gonna share everything. You know. So I would know what was in those texts, those DMs or whatever. I would know. So I think Robyn is just closing a blind eye to it, because some women, when they get into a relationship, they don't want to get into another relationship and relearn somebody else. They'll keep on with the same old crap from this dude because they don't want to seek no further. They're hoping and praying that this person comes to their senses and realize that they love you, because you're sitting there saying, pick me, pick me, pick me.
Mhm.
When this person is just, hey, he's picking everybody else, and you're still sitting there saying, pick me. I'm your wife, pick me. I love you the most, pick me. You know, so you got some women that are like that. And then you got women that are like me. I'm going to know. I'm going to find out. No, if I have a sneaky suspicion, I'm a detective. I'm going to find the hell out. So I'm just kind of looking at it from a different way, because I've been married a couple of times. So I'm just looking at it, a different way, because your first
Yeah.
marriage, you're kind of naive. You want, you look for the best, even when you're getting the worst, you know. So I just want to say that.
And she did say, I think I do remember her having a conversation once saying that for the first time around, she was very naive. And
Mhm.
that this time around, I'm just thinking that story that he told, I guess her defense is the story was so far fetched that there's no way it could not be true because it's so far fetched. But it's just like with technology the way it is now, that lady couldn't get any help from anybody else. I know they said that she's from Canada, so she didn't have Cash App and all that other stuff. But the people on in Canada should have whatever versions they have in order to send her some money. The story was just so wacky and weird and crazy. And what I don't like about Robin is now you want to just brush it under the table and just move on. And it's not so much the story that, that it happened. It's so much more that you knew this was going on in your life. You said nothing about it while your friend was going after everybody else. And your friend knew about your situation because she said, yeah, she knew. But instead, she's focusing on everybody else. That's it.
Right. I mean, it did seem like it was kind of hush hush, and Giselle was keeping it all to herself, you know. But I mean, I guess that's what homies do. I mean, I'm not gonna tell my homegirl's business to a
I
bunch of
agree.
chicks that ain't really our friend,
I
you
agree,
know.
Yeah.
but at the same time, Giselle makes it her mission to go after everybody else's marriage. It would not be an issue if your best bud was not the way she is. If she was not attacking Candace in the process, then that would be okay. Let's say if it was Karen, and
Right.
Karen's not going around doing stuff like that, but your best friend is the one who is just wreaking havoc season after season after season. And then you two knew about this, and oh, we're just not. I was waiting for. What did she say? I was waiting for Karen to bring it up. What? Okay, I'm hearing an echo. I'm gonna go on mute.
Well, let's go ahead and go to the next. The ladies divided themselves. Four of them went to cowboy boots place, while these other four ladies went to a distillery. And did you pick that part where and what's her name? Mia, the bed came up and Mia was like, is that your mom?
I thought that was hilarious. That was one of the moments where I said I kind of chuckled. Yeah, but Wendy didn't find that very comical. I did. I thought that was a good punchline, you know. But
Yeah, because yeah, exactly. You did ShopRite say she was going out and coming back in?
No, I just said that I'm gonna mute
Oh,
myself because when I
oh,
talk,
okay.
I'm hearing an echo when I speak.
Oh, okay. Actually, the reason why she didn't find it funny is because it's not funny. Um, there's this thing we there's this. I'm trying to remember the traditional name we call those kind of birds in our place,
mhm,
and those birds, they are actually a signal of witchery, the witchcrafting thing that Neka has been accusing Wendy of.
the
So she knew,
birds.
yes,
Oh, I didn't know. Sorry, I don't
those
know.
those crows, or what they call them. That was a crow, right? The bird.
Yeah, I believe it was or Raven.
Yeah. Yes, a raven. They like signify the witchcrafty thing and whatnot. It's if we say let's do a class on how the witchcraft and this thing of let's say of Africa, or let me not say Africa, of Nigeria, it's gonna take a whole lot of things. She understood what it meant in Nigeria, so that was why it pissed her off.
Oh, okay. Because
But
what those ravens um kind of resemble to us over here is every time we see them. Because look, there's so many ravens around here and crows. And the crows are
yeah,
bigger than the cats around here. You
yeah,
know, Around here we be saying, "Oh, that's the government. Be quiet." They're listening. You know, that's why I thought it was funny when she said it, but I didn't know that it actually had a meaning to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you see that Shopra, did you see the way she explained the shrine and altars? I think I did talk something about it before, in the same way that Wendy did explain it,
Yeah.
about even as Christians, we do have shrines and altars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she was saying that each saint has their own shrine. She did explain that.
Yes.
But I do have something to say about the bird. How would Mia
Yeah.
know that about the bird? It made me think that maybe they had a conversation about this bird because we don't know that that bird represents witchcraft. Americans wouldn't know that. So for
Mm-hmm.
Mia to say, "Is that your mom?" That's just
Probably
like
they had it. Maybe
that's what
they
I'm
had
saying.
more this discussion with Neka that was not aired.
Right, that's what
Sometimes
I
it
was
happens.
thinking, that there must have been some other discussion about the birds and stuff like that for her to say
Yeah.
that, because that's so far-fetched
Yeah,
that we would
because when
say
when
that.
she said that, like, is that your mom? I felt like, what the hell?
Right,
How
we
did
wouldn't
she
know.
like?
Yeah, how would she know that that's a symbol of witchcraft? We don't know that.
Yeah,
Right.
But to the whole shrine thing, I'm beginning to wonder why this season we're hearing so much about Wendy's Catholicism. We never heard about that before. But she keeps talking about it all the time now. So I'm wondering, is this a preemptive sort of discussion that she keeps having? That, oh, we're super Catholic. We never heard. You saw how surprised the ladies were when she pulled out that rosary. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm Catholic. Like,
yeah.
huh? So it just kind of make, and then like with her book, she, in the book, she kept talking about being Pentecostal. So I don't know where the Catholicism. I didn't finish reading the book, so maybe it
Yeah.
talks about it further. But I'm just wondering if this is some sort of preemptive thing. Okay, I got to keep talking about that we're super religious because I know she's going to come with this shrines conversation.
Mm.
Yeah, because they are families, so they know what they discuss in the family.
Right.
So as I am here sitting down, there's a family member of mine that I would see, and I know the kind of topic they will bring to the table because I already know that's what they talk about frequently. So I feel like she already knows what the kind of topic they would bring up. So I feel like that's why she started talking about the Catholic thing was super religious, so as to counter what Neka was gonna bring to the table.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Because it's
Yeah,
like
she
we've never
already knew.
heard about this. All this
Yeah.
Catholicism, just like all the first communion, and I pray to the saints, and the only what, and every saint. We've
Yeah,
never heard you talk about this ever, and the ladies are looking surprised too. Like, why does she
because
keep
she
talking
never
about
had
this?
to.
Okay, well, never had to. That is true, but it's so extensive now. Like she
Because
just
she
go ahead.
because I feel Wendy keeps on, sorry, no Wendy, sorry. Neka keeps on still bringing about the shrine stuff. If she doesn't bring it up, the other ladies bring it up or try to chip it in. So I think she's just like in a defensive mode, which everybody will be. Any Nigerian, any full-fledged Nigerian would always be in. Because if I was, like I said, if I was Wendy also, the same defense mood she's on, and always defending the fact that her mom and her family are not into that, I would also go into that, because that is this, like, that's the reaction you will get to anybody being told that kind of thing.
But real quick, why has she not yet said that her mother did not do it? She hasn't said that yet.
Because okay, I wanted to say about that, like I said, she talked about how Christians do still have shrines when it comes to African homes and the Catholic Church. Um, the thing is that this same thing that Neka is accusing Wendy of, I can say it, that I'm pretty sure that she herself has done it, her mom too has done it. If you
Has
grew up in
done
an
what?
African home, The same thing, like saying
Okay.
that you're praying with somebody's name, you're praying over someone's name.
Okay. Now, do we know if she was really raised up? Because she'll say she said, I was raised native Nigerian. Well, was she
Yes,
actually
that
raised in Nigeria? Or was she
yes.
raised here?
When she says that means she grew like most of her teenage years in Nigeria.
Okay. Was she that accent that she has now? There is like no traces of her living anywhere else. She is like
Sometimes
so
some people go to um
extremes.
phonetic schools to take out their mother tongue.
Yeah, seems like she's worked really, really hard
Yeah.
to speak the way she's speaking. Yeah, but
So
she's only
the
been in
thing,
Potomac for a short time, she said.
yeah, the thing is, I said it that I can vouch that Wendy's Neka's mom has done the same thing. If Wendy's mom is doing it, Neka's mom has done the same thing. Neka herself has done the same thing.
Can
She's
you
not gonna
describe?
lie.
I'm sorry. Can you describe this shrine? Is this like an altar? What does it look like? Is it
When
like
when
an
is
altar?
when you talk about shrine and altars, they're two different things when it comes to an African home, an African
Okay.
church, as an African itself. Or like let me not say Africa, let me not generalize with Nigeria because that's what I know about. I don't know for every other African country. But here in Nigeria, when you say an altar, I an altar for me as a Christian would be like a quiet place in my house where I could just be by myself, no noise, no disturbances, nobody coming to disturb me. A quiet place where I could stay and interact with God, like have a special moment with God, where I could just say, sit down, sing praises and worship, do my prayers without being disturbed.
Almost like a
That
prayer.
is where so many people call their altar because that is a special place for them and God to have a conversation. Because in Nigeria we're very religious. If there's one thing about us, we're so religious. We don't joke with religion at all. Whatever thing you worship, being a Christian, being a Muslim, being a pagan, being worship whatever God you want to worship, we hold religion to the highest esteem. Now that is what you call an altar as a Christian. Then when you come to the shrine is now what you talk about those that are um like practicing maybe dark magic, or let's say it like that, like black magic or dark magic. That's what you call the shrine, where they build up structures like put their gods that they serve and talk up, they worship that god. That is what you call a shrine.
Okay, I just Googled it, and now as soon as you said that, that's the photo that I saw. Thank you for clearing that
Yes.
out. You
So
described it perfectly well.
a shrine is where you talk about the dark magic people and everything. Then the altar is when you talk about that's for we Christians. What we do, you know, we have a quiet place. Any place you like, you have that place. That's where you call your altar. Some people still call that place their shrine because it's like it's also where you worship your God. So people still call it their shrine. But the main definition of shrine is for the people that practice the black and the dark side of it.
Thank you. That clears it up. So
So
it's
next,
almost like it's akin to her because I just saw some of the photos. It would be akin to her, like maybe having like, and I'm not trying to be offensive because, but some of the pictures
yeah,
that I saw, some of the
yes.
imagery that the mother has that in the home and she's saying
Mhm.
people's names. Now that conjures up a whole different idea. And yeah, that's not right for Nneka to be making that stuff up if it's not true.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying. You just don't make this kind of accusation. It's not an accusation. You just don't go around saying those kind of things. And you're saying those things, no proof, no pictures, nothing. It doesn't make sense to me at all. It doesn't make sense to me. That's where I have problems with her own accusations. And you see the way, like what Wendy said, it's hard, like you're a single mom that has taken care of you, that has, you know, given up a lot of things for you, to get to hear somebody call that person a witch, practicing witchcraft, having a shrine. It's not easy. It's not something that is good to be heard about.
Right.
It's not something that is good to be heard about at all. So there's nobody, like I said it earlier on, there's no mother or there's no daughter in this world that would sit down and watch you, either you call their mom a witch or vice versa. And that is what is going on. And I, I would say Neka knew that saying that was going to take a lot, was going to cause a lot of issues. She knew that saying that would rile Wendy up, or even rile Wendy's mom up. She knew those things were not something that you just come out and say. And she still decided to say it. And I will say it again, that her mom too has done the same thing. Because when we talk about elderlies, like the people older, like the Wendy's mom and Neka's mom, they were the ones that was still, at their time, they were still practicing those things.
Mm.
They grew up with those things. My dad grew up with these things. When we talk about the shrines and whatnot. In Nigeria, some family has their own shrine. Like, this is the God we serve in our family. Like, this is our shrine.
Mm.
So Neka's mom and Wendy's mom are in the group of people that have actually, their mom or dad or worship those things until probably they gave their life to Christ. So her coming to act like she doesn't know what it's all about. Did you hear what she said? Her mom, her dad, her husband has a chieftaincy title.
Yeah.
Yes.
The same thing that Wendy mom's has.
Iyom.
The same
Iyom.
thing.
Iyom. Iyom.
you you pronounce it well.
Okay, how do you say it?
Yum.
Iyom. Iyom.
So you heard her when she said her husband has a chieftaincy title?
Yes. Isn't that a big deal or no?
It's not. It's the same thing that Wendy mom has also a chieftaincy title in her village, but it's like how would I put it? I'm trying to look for the best definition. Um, I don't know. I don't know the best definition. Like, it's, you have a title, but in that title they have a name in your tradition that is called. Just like Wendy's mom is also a title, but that Eon is the name is called in her place. So her own husband, the title that he has its name also, that it holds. And mostly all these chieftaincy titles, they are always linked to traditionalists, all the shrines and the rest. So if her husband has a title, the same thing that Wendy mom has, why is she coming here saying all these things? Like, I told you that she would literally make herself disliked by most Nigerians, and she's doing it because at the end of the day, her husband has a title. So why are you making this argument?
Oh, I get what you're saying.
So if your husband must have gone through a phase of getting, because sometimes when you want to do that title, there's a big party, there's a tradition, it's a traditional party that's going on. There's some things going on. Some of them are, it's just that recently some of them are they are not really that traditional, and they don't do anything that diabolical. But there's some, even till today, that they still perform all those things just to have that chieftaincy title. And your husband has that, you know what is that, and there's no way they can't give you that thing and you be in the States. You have to come back home. You will come back to Nigeria, go to your village, not even anywhere in Nigeria, go back to your village to get that, because that is where they perform whatever ritual or anything that needs to be done for you to for that chieftaincy title to be given to you. So if she went through all those process for her husband to have that chieftaincy title, she was there. She's his wife. She would be there with him.
Mm.
So why is she saying all these things? That's what I don't get.
So it's not
And you're
something
talking
that
about,
you're born with, like because of who his parents are?
no, you're not born with it. Like, did you hear what she said? Some of them buy it nowadays.
Yeah, she did
It's like
say that.
it's like a power. It's like you have that, you have power. It's like you're the president. People respect you.
Mhm.
There's this certain sense of respect that now comes with your name. You know, when you're going and they call you Chief, this person, Chief Ike. Okay, his name is Ike now. Chief Ike. That's what he will be called when he goes to this village. And there's this respect they give to him.
Wow.
So many people do it because of that respect. They want to be, most people when they've gone out and they've gone out, made money, they're now rich, they come back and want to buy that title so as for people to acknowledge them, be like, yes, this is who I am. I'm chief this person. Yet sometimes when they see that you're rich and you have money and they feel like, okay, giving you that title would make you help the community in by financially, they just give it to you. There's so many ways now, just like nowadays, like we don't make it too much tradition, it's now lesser. But before, of old, a titled man must have gone through a lot of things, and she knows all these things. For him to go and get a title nowadays, you would have already known the tradition, you would have known the history. So how coming to act like brown new? Like I said earlier on, her mom has done the same thing that she's accusing Wendy's mom of doing. I'm pretty sure her mom has taken somebody's, like she said, Wendy's mom took her picture, and her mom would have taken somebody else's picture and said, oh, this when you go against her daughter. So how coming to act like I'm brown new to this? I'm surprised that when the mom did this. Like, you grew up in Nigeria, why are you surprised? It's like something that happens every day in an environment that you are in, then you're coming to act surprised. I can't act surprised when I see somebody, like I'm going on the road and I see somebody performing some witchcrafty things. I don't act surprised because I'm like, oh, okay, it's normal. I go my way. As far as it doesn't concern me, as far as you don't bring it close to me, you don't try to introduce me to it, I'm good.
What did you just say? You said when you're on your way home, you may witness some things. Is that what you said? And you just ignore
Yes.
it? Like what, for example? What would you witness?
There are things we do. They do read that we do like now that is this festive period, a lot of us are coming back home for the holidays. We literally don't like spending the holidays outside. We come back home. Sometimes people like perform rituals, like there's this thing we call okay, let me not call the name, but there's this thing they perform, and they in the middle of the night they wear only wrapper, and they go in the they go to the T junction and they keep it there, and it's comprised, it's food, but it's a specific food that it is. They keep it there for the girls to come and eat. Sometimes I saw there are
Oh,
so many
okay.
times there was a time I was coming back from school and I came in late and I was going back to my parents' place, and as I was coming in to my parents' house, and I saw someone doing it and I just ignored, and I went home. It's because why the only reason why I was able to ignore it is because it's something that that happens in your culture. It's something that that happens in your country. If I came with somebody, a friend of mine that didn't know about my culture, if I came with a friend of mine that was maybe out of state, the person would literally run seeing that. But because I already knew what was going on, I just ignored it and go. There's some things you see that happens in our culture, you just like, okay, as far as it's not my business, I'm just going to ignore it. That's just it. So that is where when this always talking about this witchcraft thing is like um it's like it's very annoying to me because
Taboo.
she knows about all these things. She has seen it. She must have even participated in it, and she's acting brownie, like acting very brownie. And she said that she also said in the episode that she was going to do a traditional wedding
She
in
did.
the East.
She
Those
did.
things are still traditions, and you will do a lot of things. Like when she kept on saying those things, I'll be like, this same Nigeria, you talk about it and you come and bash it. And you know that when you go to your traditional wedding, you have to go through a lot of traditional stuff. You don't do a traditional wedding like in the thing is, truthfully, in Nigeria, if you like do a white wedding where you wear your white gown and celebrate with your pals and everything, if you like go to court and do your wedding, and sign in the registry. If you haven't done a traditional wedding, you are not recognized as a married person.
Hmm.
That is part of the tradition. People will not recognize you as married. If you like, wear the white wedding gown, celebrate any part of the world you want to celebrate. If you like, go to the courts, sign, do your signatories like we're married. But when you go back home to your villa, nobody recognizes you as husband and wife if you haven't done the trad.
Wow.
Because to us that is the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
In our tradition, that is the wedding. So she's saying all those things. When she kept on saying all those things about Nigeria, about how I'm going to wedding, talking about her husband, like I just, it's got me weak. And I was like, so you literally know everything about Nigeria like this, and you came on this big platform and literally said trash about the country, like make people talk nonsense about, yeah, make people talk nonsense about her your culture. If you don't have your culture, what else do you have? That's the thing I keep on asking. Because these other ladies here, they have their cultures that wherever they are from, their heritage, they value it. And I don't think any of them will come out here and make a mockery of it and, you know, make people mock their culture, make people mock their heritage. But you did it. Wendy has been on this show for how many seasons, and I haven't seen her, if not because of you. She hasn't come up here and mock her culture and mock her heritage. But you did it.
If anything, Wendy came on and embraced it.
And I'm pretty sure if she's still on the Real Housewives, she's going to probably show you guys her wedding, her traditional wedding. She's going to show you guys. And all these things that she mentioned today, the gele part, you will see it there. Everybody will be on gele. You will see it there. You see everything. We have, even in the traditional wedding, we have a lot of traditional things you have to do before they even recognize that this is the husband you want to marry as the girl. So like, but I'm happy that there's at least it looks like they would not talk about this topic again. It seems like the witch thing is gonna die down for a while. I don't know if anybody else is gonna bring it up, but I feel like it's gonna die down. But the part that there was a part that she was like, mothers be cray cray. I don't know whether I was on her head different when they were in the car going to the. I don't know where they were going to. She was talking to Giselle and Robyn. She was like, Wendy acting as if she doesn't know her mother did that. That okay, she understands that Wendy might not know that her mother did what she did, and I know that mothers sometimes be acting cray cray. I don't know whether anybody heard that.
Yeah, I did hear that comment. Who did who did that come from?
That came from Neka.
Oh, that,
I
that
think
was
directly
called
she's
for.
like it's something that she would not love somebody to do to her mom.
Right. That was uncalled for.
She wouldn't love it to be done to her mom. Like, don't do it to somebody else's mom just because you have one small beef. Don't do it. And did you notice the part where she was, oh my God, when she was talking about her wedding and the face Wendy was giving? Like, Wendy was not for that life.
Yeah, I was disappointed with Wendy because that was not okay for her to look like
My
that. That was a big deal. The
God.
wedding was a big deal. The fact that she said she's going to have a traditional wedding was a big deal. I would think that Wendy should have said something like, "Oh, we had a traditional wedding" or something. She didn't
Oh,
seem interested or
you,
amused.
do you want her to talk so that she will say, "Oh, so you guys will go and hex me on my wedding"? I love the way I love the way Wendy was quiet. I didn't just love the facial expression she was making, but I love the way she was quiet because who knows? Maybe she says something and it will be turned against her tomorrow. Be like, oh, even if the wedding doesn't now go well, she'll be like, I said it. Wendy and her mom has put a hex on me.
Oh God.
That is why my wedding didn't go great. Like, man, I don't want this topic to come up again in this season. Like, I literally don't want Neka to bring it up again. But I also didn't like when Wendy called her a crackhead.
No,
I didn't like that.
Yeah, that was so uncalled for. And I don't like that little face Wendy made when she put her hands up. I don't like when she does stuff like that, playing to the camera. That was not cool. And
What
it
time?
wasn't funny. I'm sorry.
What time are you talking about? Which face did she make?
When she threw her hands up in the air and looked at the camera,
Oh,
she does that from time to time when she thinks she said something really funny. She did it when they went to play pickleball.
oh
She did
yeah.
it a couple of seasons ago when she got into it with Giselle and Robyn.
yeah. I didn't just like the only thing I didn't like about Wendy today was sorry in the episode was her facial expressions. The facial expressions did not do me any good because I didn't like that. But oh my god, I feel like the thing is that I feel like it would be easy to ice out Neka from the group because let me just give her time because maybe she's just trying to like get her groove now that the witchcraft story is over. Let's see how she will get herself acclimated with the group, make herself a member of the group.
They seemed like they liked her when they were at BravoCon.
I don't trust those ladies. Those ladies would come up and serve us niceness, but in real life, they are no friends at all. I'm not. I don't want to believe what happens in BravoCon. See, I watch BravoCon to just laugh and have fun. It's just like another reality TV show for me. That's how it is for me. That's how I watch it. For the laugh, the jabs, the shades that they be throwing on each other. And I think that it's another way for them to promote whatever show they are in for people to want to watch it. That's just how I feel about BravoCon. So even if they say they are friends and close with her, are they really? Because if you check her Instagram, they're not liking any of her stories or sorry, I say stories, any of her posts or anything.
Mm.
I was gonna like her post. She's over in Dubai. I keep forgetting to repost
Yeah,
that.
she's in Dubai. Yeah, she
Yeah,
actually hanged out with the Real Housewives of Dubai.
right,
And
right. She must have
Lesa
some.
Mila.
She must have some big money to be hanging out in Dubai.
But I feel like the housewives are very lenient with themselves. Whenever an housewife travels to a country where there's another housewife franchise, they are very lenient with hanging out with them, showing them around. So, well, she has money. Her husband has money.
And her
He's
family
money,
has
money.
money. I think her father. She said her father had money.
No, she called her dad. Her daddy is her husband. Her husband.
No, I think she
My
meant
dad.
her real father.
No, that was that. My daddy is her husband.
No, because when we first met her, she said that her father left them. He left her. And yeah, I think she's talking about her real father. Go back and watch the first episode when she said that my father um left me, or my father did good for himself, and so now I'm doing. I think she was talking about her real father.
I think she's talking about her husband.
Well, go look at her Instagram. Before she got married to her husband, she was living well.
Um. Well, well, I'm not gonna say anything to that. So, but I think she's talking about her husband.
Okay.
I think she's talking about her husband, but I don't know. She said, "Is her dad late or the father abandoned her?" I don't understand.
I got the impression that he left her money. I don't know. It's the way she was having the conversation, I don't remember verbatim, but she gave the impression that her father did well for himself. And so now she's doing well. And that she has houses here and there. I think she even says they have a house in Canada, I think she said, and 5 houses in Nigeria. They have this, that the
Mhm.
father did all of this for the children. That's the impression I got.
Okay, her own father. Okay,
Yes, her
probably
birth
I'll go back
father.
in the episode one, episode two.
When we first met her, episode one, like, when she first started talking, she kind of gave some background.
Um, I guess that I'll go back to watch it. And Auntie said that's the idea I got. Wow. So I guess I was the only one that was getting the wrong idea that it was her husband she was talking about.
Yeah, and she's an
No.
attorney herself, and she, seems very articulate. She lived in Wisconsin, lived in LA. Seems like she was really living the life. That was before she got married. Remember, they'd only been married for a year and a half.
That's nice.
Yeah,
She's
she
doing well
said.
for herself.
Yeah, she said something about getting married at her dad's compound.
Right, she
Yeah,
did.
you
Thank
get
you, living
no.
for my girls.
You get married at your dad's compound normally in our tradition.
Oh, okay. But she said her dad did
Even if
leave
your
them like
dad is
five
dead,
houses.
even if your dad is dead,
Hmm.
you get married in your dad's compound.
But he must be a man of means, though, to have a compound, right?
Everybody has a compound. That's how it is, especially in Igbo land.
Oh, okay.
In Igbo land, everybody has a compound.
So, do you have a compound?
I have a compound. We have a
Really?
house in the city. We have a house in the city. We have we have several houses. But in our village, that's where we call it compound. In the village, we
Okay.
have we have a compound, and the compound comprises of all the children, all the siblings of my dad. So it's like the compound is like how would I call it, a big family house where when you come to the village, everybody's staying there.
But you
Hmm.
have to
That's why
have
it's called.
means to be able to have that, right? Like to be able to
No,
have a big
everybody
family house.
contributes to it. A
Okay.
compound. Every single person. My if my compound, if we want to build it, I will contribute. The next family will contribute. The next family will contribute. Everybody's contributing. The only thing that nobody contributes if you want to build your own personal house and you don't do weddings when because you said compound, that means it was the general compound of her family.
So where are you right now? Are you in your compound?
No. That means I have to travel to my that means I have to travel to my village, and I don't like traveling to the village because of everybody's always there. It's always full, no space. Like because it's a very big compound. My own compound is very big, so everybody's always in your business. Everybody's like it's too much for me. I
So
don't
they
like
don't build
going
like
there.
they don't build different houses within the compound, like where everybody can have like their own house and within the
There are there
compound.
there are like there are different houses. Not yeah, there are different houses for like different families, but they are still close together.
That
Like they're
sounds like
still
a
close.
dream to me. Really, I would love
Yes,
to
it
live with my
does.
siblings like that. I really, one of my goals and aspirations was to buy my block so I can give each one of my brothers and sisters a house,
Oh,
because I
that's so
wanted us
sweet.
all to, be next door neighbors. So that sounds like
Really?
a dream to me. Yeah,
Probably because
because
I
we're
grew in it.
close. We're
I
close.
find it exhausting.
It's 11 of us. We're close.
They
We can't we
prob-
can't live we can't live in the same house, but if they live
yeah.
next door, I can always say go home, and know that they're
Mm,
close.
yeah. Uh, for me, it has been a very long time since I traveled down to the village the time I traveled. The last time I traveled to my village was last year when I had to travel down. I had to fly into to bury my mom. So that was the last time, and I was like exhausted. Like everybody was there. Everybody was like, they haven't seen you in a long time. How are you? How is where you are? How everything? How is life? Everybody's always in your business. Probably because that's just the way I am. I don't always like everybody in my business that much. So I don't I don't like that compound thing. I don't like that compound thing so much. I prefer my own space. Like I prefer my own space. We have a compound and we also have a house. Like we
Okay.
have there's a compound and we have a house, like our own house there in the
Right.
village, like our own personal house. But people hardly stay there because they'll be like, it's not fun. Like they will prefer to stay in the compound where they'll be seeing all the cousins, all the nephews, all the nieces, all the uncles, easy
Mm.
access, and they cook food together, all those kind of things. Cook
Wow.
food, when you wake up in the morning, they're cooking a very big pot of food because we're so much, So it's interesting. It's interesting, but
Mhm.
at the same time, it could be exhausting.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that probably when she said compound, that's what if she said a house, probably that's a personal house. When she said compound, that's a family. Like if let's say family house.
Okay.
That would be the best description. The family house. But she looks like someone that lived a good life. So I won't be surprised if her dad did very well for himself
Mhm.
and lived a good life and gave them something. Thank you very much, Miss Manmade. Um, I won't be surprised if their dad left a very good legacy for them. You know, every one thing about especially Igbos, one thing about them, their Igbo parents wants to leave a legacy for their children. They don't want their children to like maybe probably suffer the same thing they did. So they are very keen on leaving legacy for their children.
That's
So,
beautiful.
I'm happy. I'm happy for her. I like Neka. Just because I talk about her like this doesn't mean I don't like her. I like her. But I don't
I'm
like the
not
way she
sure
made
about
her.
that.
No.
I guess I have to wait and see.
No, I don't like the way she made our culture a joke. I don't
Okay,
like
I
that
agree.
part.
I agree. It was so
I,
unnecessary. And it sounds
yeah.
like it must have been something that she and Lebe cooked up. They must have cooked
Yes.
that up. Yeah, this is how we're gonna go after her with this.
I like her. When they first came out like, oh, the new Nigerian, I was literally very happy. Like I was one of the happiest people to know that a new Nigerian girl was coming on the cast. But when I saw what happened, I was like, wow, are we gonna regret this at the end of the day? Because she made absolutely nobody is gonna be happy to see their culture joked about. And that's what she did. And it's not something I'm happy that she did. Like, I'm not gonna blame any other person that joked about the my culture. I'm not gonna talk about Giselle. I'm not going to talk about Ashley. I'm going to talk about her because she created the way she made it happen. She made them talk about the culture in the wrongest of ways because they don't understand how our
Right.
culture is. It's you that understand, that knows how it works. Some of our cultures, if I start telling you the way our culture works, you'll be like, well, that's very exhausting. But because I have grown in it, some of these cultures you start getting known to it from as early as 5 years old, 6, 7. You start getting known to it. So
Right.
you might see it as exhausting. I would just be like, yeah, it's a normal thing that I go through, that I would go through, you know. So
Right. Just to
that's
piggyback
just
off,
it.
yeah, just to piggyback off what you said about being happy that Ameka was on the show. I was happy too because I was like, oh wow, like you know, what's her name? I can't think of her name right now. Wendy's gonna have like a little
Wendy.
sister. You know what I'm saying? They're both cute.
Yeah,
They're dark. They're chocolate. They're beautiful. You know, they're intelligent. You know, I'm like excited. Like, okay, whoo, breath of fresh air right here. You know what I'm saying? African
yeah,
sisters. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of blame Emeka for being young and impressionable when it comes to uh, not withholding your culture up when it came to uh, what's her name, Ashley
yeah,
starting the bull. She should have put out her little fire and let it stop right there. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if
yeah.
this was like a added storyline to, you know, bring on all the rah rah with the two ladies, you know. So, you know, I still blame Ashley, you know, because Ashley had to know what she was doing by asking that question about Wendy and her family. You know, and then you said it was from months ago. Like, why bring it up now?
Mhm.
But I'm since it all played out like that, I'm happy to have learned more about your culture that I never knew. You know what I'm saying? It's been enlightening to me and I've learned a lot.
Thanks. At least it got a lot of people get a lot of people started researching about Nigeria and our cultures. So mm, at least it did something good. But before we go and end this live, let's just talk about the ending part of this episode where we saw Robin crying. Like this part just like pissed me off. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Why the tears? How did we get to these tears? Like literally they were trying to talk to you. You've been in denial since God knows when. And I also feel like at this stage, this lady should stop talking about this lady to stop talking about this stuff with Robin. Like it's exhausting. The tears was annoying to me. I don't know whether it's annoying, it was annoying to any other person, but for me it was annoying. Looking for a girl, are you there? Looking for my girls, are you there?
I'm sorry,
Oh,
yes, I'm here.
I was saying the tears at the ending of the episode, the tears we had with Robin tearing up because they were talking to her about one, and I didn't understand. I didn't like it. I think I want to. As much as I also want this Neka and Wendy story about Witchery to end, I also want the storyline to also end because it's exhausting.
Yeah, you know, like I said, all that stuff back and forth with Juan, like I'm ready to cry too. You know what I'm saying? He ain't even my man, you know? And I'm ready to cry because I'm so sick of it. You know, maybe she's crying because, hey, she's finally realizing, hey, he pulled a fast one. He really is cheating, you know?
Oh, I don't think that was what she was realizing. I think
I know. I know, but you know, I don't know why she feels like everybody's ganging up on her or coming towards her. You know, maybe they want her to wake up. Smell the coffee. You know,
exactly.
and they don't understand how naive and closed-minded she can be to a man. So what if he's your husband? If he's cheating, he's cheating. And then you're talking about you swallow like, uh, like I wouldn't even want to tell nobody that. Especially if there's speculation of my man cheating. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. I'm just not with the tears. I'm not a crier. I'm not with the tears.
What about you, Chef Reality? What do you feel about the storyline of Juan and the tears and everything?
Yeah, I was surprised at that because we haven't really seen her do that much, and for her to get so frustrated. It seems like the conversation that Candace and Wendy were having with her about that Title IX situation, about him losing his job, that seemed to really get
Yeah.
her upset. And I'm wondering, why did that upset her so much? I don't know if it's because Candace had made a good point by saying what you said about it at the reunion was not a good look, and I don't know if that's what triggered her, but I think that's what made her so upset and so uptight. And then I guess it just all came to a head in that car. But we don't really know her to be a crier like that. So, that was unusual for her to behave that way. And I guess it's just becoming too much. I'm sure she was prepared for it, that this season that they were going to have to get her because of what happened last season. And then there's a
Yeah.
clip, I don't know if you guys have seen it. I think it's on Instagram where they have her in a confessional from, I guess, a couple seasons ago, saying
Mhm.
that you have to be as transparent. You have to be transparent on this show. You have to tell what's going on in your personal life. And I think the caption said, yeah, did you see that clip?
I didn't see it.
No.
Okay, it's going around on Instagram where it's Robyn a few
Wow.
seasons ago saying that you have to be transparent on this show and tell what's going on in your personal life. And then for the stunt she pulled last season, that was not cool, especially when Giselle was going after Candace. It's like that was just so not right. You sat back, you knew this was going on in your personal life, and your friend is making up stuff. Well, I shouldn't say making up stuff. Your friend is retelling something that happened prior, and every time she tells it she adds more layers to it.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
yes, like the other last episode she said your husband made me go to a he
Maybe.
made
Oh
you.
my God.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but that's about all I have to say. I'm okay with the show. Like I know a lot of people said it's boring, whatever. I like this franchise, so I just enjoy watching it. I enjoy seeing the clothes that the
But,
ladies are wearing. Huh?
but today's episode was boring.
I liked
Literally,
it.
there was nothing on the episode.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I guess I just like the clothes that they were wearing. Yeah, I love that sort of thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the clothes.
Yeah, I love the clothes. I do love the clothes. And I love Karen with her confessionals. It's always epic. I love the
She's
part
so
where she said,
funny.
Robyn has to join the polygamy squad, and she brought out
Yeah,
that
she's
prop.
funny.
Like, I love that she just gives the highlighting the confessionals. But I just want to see how I don't think they played the sneak peek of what will happen next week. I didn't see
No,
that.
No.
no,
Yeah, I
they
haven't
didn't.
seen it either.
They didn't at all.
Yeah, they're keeping us hanging. What do you guys think about Giselle so far this season? She really is not doing too much. I haven't seen her like stir the pot yet, except for discussing the NECA and Wendy's trying
I
to make
feel
sense out of it. But I don't see
yeah,
her like she's up to working any plan yet of what she's gonna do.
but I feel like maybe she came into this season being like, I got so much hate from last season, I don't want that hit again on me this season. I'll just be chilled and relaxed and go with the flow. And I'll just
Okay.
run with anything that was brought to me. I don't want to do above myself or beyond myself. I feel like that's what she just told herself.
Yeah, that makes
And the
sense.
fact that she was calling her sugar baby or like that was unnecessary. When she was calling Jason on the phone.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not buying
I was
it.
like, what was the use of us being shown this nonsense? Like, why
If
do
he's
I
the
care that
sugar
she's up into
baby, if he's the sugar baby, she's the sugar mama. And why be known for that?
it's a nice title.
Yeah, I don't want to be nobody's sugar mama.
Oh my god. Miss Mama said Robyn needs to go. This was her second and last chance. Charging people money for their podcast sealed the deal for me. Did they really charge people money for the podcast? I've never listened to the podcast before.
I don't know.
Yeah, when she told the story about what happened with Juan and the lady, she put it on Patreon, so you had to pay to
Oh
listen
wow.
to that. Yeah,
What?
but
Oh wow.
yeah,
But people that paid to listen to that, they were even complaining that there was nothing on it. She
no, they
didn't
said
really
it was.
say anything.
No, she did. She said some stuff, and people paid, and they said it was worth it.
Really. Did she really come honest about it?
Well, she gave more details. That's how we found out about the details, other than just what, the speculation of what was floating around. She actually went into more details about what his explanation was of how he said it happened. But I never did hear it. I just heard what other people, how they reported on it.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess is there anything else that you can remember that happened in the episode? Because my brain is kind of foggy because I can't remember anything spectacular that happened in the episode.
No, I think that's about it.
Yeah. What about you living for my girls? Is there anything you remember in the episode?
No, I can't remember too much more than that. I mean, they were all over the place. I'm telling you.
All right. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for those on the chat for chatting up with us. Thank you for those that watched the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our individual YouTube channels. Don't forget to subscribe to Shop Reality TV YouTube channel. Don't also forget to subscribe to Unfiltered Results YouTube channel. See you guys same time next week. Have a nice day.